Look only at the arm. I don't know, man. I'm running out of funny shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it can only be so, you know what I mean, full of stuff, man. Eventually, you just run out of shit, man. But one thing I'm never gonna run out of, you better believe it. Read my lips. Always new guitars. Right. So today we're gonna have a special episode. This is what we call a Mythbuster, or like a fucking blockbuster, or bomb, or information blast. It's not fake news. It's real news. It's good. It's good. Anyway, this right here, I picked up at the flea market yesterday. $5. And I walked around the flea market all morning. I'll give you reenactment because I know you guys like reenactment. This is what happened. Just like this. I didn't see nothing in that row, and I went down the next row. I didn't see nothing down that row in the sky or nothing. And I went down. Hey, you get it, man. There's lots of rows there. A lot of people, a lot of vendors. It was a good time, but there's not many guitars, man. Not many guitars, man. I was like, yeah, hey, man. You know, I don't know the drought here, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a thankful time of year. You know what I'm saying? 'Tis the season, right? Fuck, man. Anyway, so I got to the end, and there's this guy, Frank. Well, I've never bought a guitar off him. Not one time, not once in my life, man. I bought a whole bunch of other tools and old local paper and stuff. You know, local yearbooks, I think. I bought a whole like set of like yearbooks from like Neptune, man. Weird, man. It's cool, man. Anyway, he happened to have a guitar. You know what I'm saying? I walked around, I didn't have nothing, you know what I mean? I only had a couple dollars too, because, you know, times are tight. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at it, and it was heavy. I was like, well, that's heavy as hell, man. And he said, hey, kid, $5 on that guitar. I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. I gave him the $5 and I got out of here because he's like, what the fucking weirdo going, ooh, ooh. What's he doing that for? I'm gonna tell everybody at the flea market he's little. Anyway, man, none of that really happened. But what did happen was I bought this from Frank for 5 fresh American dollars. And I looked at it and it says Arwin Music Industries Incorporated, Beverly Hills, California, USA, made in Korea. And then it has a serial number 12361, number V-20. Now, let me tell you something about Arwin Musical Industries Incorporated. Nobody in the guitar world knows anything about it. You know, on Jedi Star, you know, and all the other places where guitar people like speculate, nobody really knows anything about it. Nobody's even been able to pin down the truth, man. I'm like Carl Truth Williams here, man. I'm gonna enlighten you all, man. Arwin Musical Industries, Arwin Entertainment Corporation, Arwin Records, Arwin Motion Pictures, Arwin Empire was founded by Marty Melcher, who was the third wife of Doris Day. Goddamn, man. And Melcher made a fortune producing all kinds of movies. Kirk Douglas was his boy, you know what I mean? His record company, Melcher Arwin Records, right? He had all kinds of Melcher enterprises. Melcher was loaded. Now, Doris Day had a son from her first husband named Terry. And Terry was adopted by Marty Melcher because he was a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? His father was poor man. You know what I'm saying? So he all of a sudden became Terry Melcher instead of Terry Jones or whatever the fuck he was really. You know what I mean? Terry Melcher started hanging out with the Hollywood elite, going to cool people school, man. You know, the Hollywood Hills school, man. And he met up with Bruce Johnson. Bruce Johnson and the Beach Boys, man. Bruce Johnson was a session musician. Sandy Nelson, I believe. Ricky Nelson, Buddy Holly, I believe he played with Richie Valens. He played for all kinds of people, you know what I mean? I don't know, some of these stories that Bruce Johnson sometimes tells, you know what I mean? Grain of salt, because he claims to like have invented everything, the telephone and everything, I don't know. and introducing the Beatles to pot. I don't know, man. Even though he didn't smoke it, yeah. I've talked to him a couple times personally on the old Beach Boys Britain board years ago. He's always cool with me. I asked him about what happened with Brian Wilson's bass, and he's like, "Oh man, I was stolen out of my car." He told all kinds of unknown stories about Brian Wilson's first Fender bass, the white one. You know what I mean? He gave me some details that only Bruce Johnson would know, man. I thank you, Bruce. Anyway, so Bruce Johnson became partners with Terry Melcher. You know what I mean? They became Bruce and Terry. They became the Ripcords. Hey, little Cobra, but he gonna shut you down. Brian Wilson heard that record. Hey, man, it blew my mind, man. Hey, man, when Brian Wilson didn't want to tour anymore, Bruce came in there and put on his little fucking tight pants. And the rest is history, man. Bruce Johnson's still a Beach Boy and Brian's not. You know what I mean? But along the way, man, Terry Melcher, you know what I mean, became a record producer. And he sort of discovered a little band called the fucking Birds. He produced the first couple records, which were the only really good records. You know what I mean? American Sweetheart is good. Or Rodeo, whatever that shit is. American Rodeo, Sweetheart Rodeo, that was okay. But for only really the early Bird stuff from Terry Melcher is what I really like, man. You know what I mean? And he became associated with Charles Manson after that. And right around the time where his life was all crazy and hectic, and he was associated with Manson, and Manson was a little awful motherfuckers, and Dennis Wilson was hanging out with him, Terry Melcher was embellished and all this, and the Birds were breaking up, man. He's all afraid. Marty Melcher dies, man. He just dies, man. In 1968, leaving Terry Melcher in charge of the whole Arwin industry, man. So instead of like learning the reins and like, let's get on top of this, man. Let's figure this out. Terry just went crazy, cocaine for everybody or whatever he did, you know what I mean? I don't know what he did, man. Heroin for everybody. Charles Manson's urine for everybody. I don't know what he was doing. Charles Manson feces. But one thing that Terry Melcher did do was he started Arwin Musical Industries Incorporated, Beverly Hills, California, USA. The main career, early main career. This V-20, nobody's ever seen one. The most common model, there's a couple V5s out there. I'm saying maybe like 10 known examples. So those are very rare. This, extremely rare. It's got its own serial number label. It might be a prototype label. Terry Melcher himself might have sniffed a line of cocaine off this guitar. I have no idea, man. You know what I mean? It's definitely rare. I can't find another one. Arwin Musical Industries. You know what I mean? Fizzled out pretty much after he ran out of money. You know what I'm saying? And then he pretty much just disappeared. We never heard from it again. They originally, like in 1968, after Marty died, they had all kinds of grandiose plans. I read something in Billboard, like a little blurb that somebody, Fred Kimball, I think, was like, the national supposed to salesperson, supposed to, I guess Terry put all his faith in this guy, Fred Kimball, and Fred turned out to be, useless. And that was the end of the big guitar bust anyway, man. It was just totally gone. After 1968 was the wrong time to start, music, distributorship. The wrong time. But he was probably, one of the early guys in the Korea, man. He might have even beat out in Saga, man. It's early shit, man. So we're going to take a look at it. We're going to restore it. It's got some things missing. It's missing the tuners. It's missing the nut. It's missing all the little buttons. You know what I mean? There's these little stickers on there. Neck's a little bit loose. A little tiny bit loose. Could use some glue. Other than that, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll flip you around. We're going to talk about this together. Arwin Musical. Terry Melcher. Flip you around. Hey, little Cobra. But he's going to shut you down. And there it is. Thankfully. W finally made me proud and brought me Saddam. Finally experienced what it was like. One man urinating on another. And after Saddam was done urinating on me, I thought to myself, well, at least we're going to kill this son of a bitch. Here you go, W. Didn't go as I planned. He was a stronger man. Let's murder him. Like we did his sons and grandchildren. Anyway, man. You can see these little dots have fallen off. We can easily reproduce them. But I've never seen another production guitar like this. This is definitely a prototype. It's definitely cool. It could be worth $50, $100, a couple $100. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I've never seen anything like it because of the Melcher connection. Terry Melcher, you know, Manson and all that. You know what I mean? Doris Day. Yeah, I mean, it's a really crazy story, man. I don't know, man. Hang tag on here. Could have been like, you know, in a prototype hang tag. Mr. Melcher, look at this. Or it could have been like pawn shop. $25. You know, who knows? You know what I mean? Seems to be structurally okay from the looks of it, but however, the braces in there are a little loose, and that could be ugly, man. You know what I mean? Missing the lollipop saddle, little piece of plastic that went up and down here as a saddle. Missing this. We can easily reproduce that. You know what I'm saying? It's as good as bad. This is one of those guitars that you really, really want to be great just because of the connection. You know what I'm saying? Missing the original nut, missing the tuners. This stuff was like taking off this guitar. You know what I mean? Thinking this was like a valueless guitar. Or maybe it was just a terrible dog. Maybe it was a horrible guitar. Hey, Dennis. You like this guitar? No, man. I gave it to my friend Charlie. I think he sold it for some freebase, man. No good. Marty Melcher, of course. He rode the coattail of Kirk Douglas. I believe he was Kirk Douglas's manager or something like that, maybe. And Arwin Industries, Arwin Pictures, and Arwin this. Surprising that nobody really makes that connection. You know what I mean? Arwin's all Arwin Records. You know what I mean? It was really, you know what I mean, a situation where I think that Doris Day said, you know, after he died, oh, he squandered all my money, and then they did like the bank accounts, and they saw how much money she was spending, and it was like, the squander is all spent by you. You know, really, I mean, living a high life, and you're not really haven't done anything really notable in 10 years. So what happens, man, money comes, money goes. So let's bring this into the, you know, laboratory. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about what we did to Saddam, how we tried to best him, and how things turned into a wrestling match. Unfortunately, he knocked me out and urinated into my mouth while W filmed it. It was not a good thing. Luckily, we murdered him and his children and his grandchildren. See you in the laboratory. Peace be with you. Always. Welcome back to the laboratory. So like I said before, man, this is one of those projects that I really, really hope turns out to be a nice guitar. A decent sounding playing instrument. You know what I mean? Not some fucked up piece of shit like last week. That was a harmony debacle, if I've ever had one before. Terrible, terrible harmony. This instrument just feels a little rickety. It just feels like, you know what I mean, a prototype. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a prototype. It doesn't look like any production. Never seen another one. It feels very rickety is what I'm saying. Now, this is like a small Dreadnaught shape. The Dreadnaught sizes, shapes were becoming popular in the late 60s. Why? Because the Martin thing was coming back in. You know what I'm saying? It became popular again in the 90s. Because Unplugged, you know what I mean? Where the Beatles had all Martin D18s and stuff like that. McCartney, at least. You know what I'm saying? Mike Johnson, actually, the Dreadnaught shape. This is my favorite guitar that I've found recently, man. It's got that same sort of, you know what I'm saying? A little bit smaller, you know what I mean? The same kind of effect. Affectation, man. You know what I'm trying to tell you. I'm saying, but this thing feels rickety. It feels like it's something wrong with it. And it's these braces, man. Beyond that, it does have another fucked up kind of issue. Now, it was missing its tuners, and this might be the reason why it was abandoned. You know what I mean, from the get-go. There's something wrong with this, man, and I'll tell you why. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it was drilled to accommodate, you know what I mean, regular old tuners. You know, you look at the, you know, you're gonna look at where the hole is. Try to get a good macro zoom in here, man. I don't know, man. This thing is kind of finicky sometimes on what it wants to zoom in on and what it doesn't like to zoom in on. But it seems like, you know what I'm saying, it was cut. in the correct place. You know what I'm saying? It looks like we're all right to put it like a regular standard set of tuners that have been used for, you know what I mean, 60, 70 years or whatever. And for some reason, AliExpress, man, has this thing where for a couple of weeks, if you try to order something on it, you automatically would order two. It's like a trick, man. We trick American consumer to get extra money off them. You know what I mean? So I ordered one for this particular instrument. I paid for it and received two, man. I wasn't bummed out because, you know, Bobby G go through these pretty quickly, but it's always good to have extras, and they didn't cost very much. Anyway, man, so I got it. I was like, all right, man, let me just check this out. You know, the product, man. I want to taste it a little bit, man, before I use it on national television. I don't want to, you know what I mean, get some bummer shit, man. And I was like, all right, hey, man, where's the lighter, man? Oh, hold up, man, this doesn't smell right, man. Oh. And then I was like, you know what I mean, try to put it in there. And I was like, come on, man. And it wouldn't go in. And I was like, this is bullshit, man. And I tried to get it in there again, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm a persistent guy, you know what I'm saying? Real persistent. Oh, just for some reason, they wouldn't go in, man. And I went and tried another set of tuners, and another set of tuners, and another set of tuners for some weird reason. You know, this particular holes are drilled in such a way that, like, they're drilled incorrectly. And I'll show you, because this one's a little bit easier to sort of bend. See this? It'll go up like that far, and then this thing starts to bend. They're like drilled in the wrong angle. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for both sides, man. Not just one side, man. Both sides, man. You know what I'm saying? They're drilled at the wrong fucking angle, man. It was meant for strip tuners. It's just, I don't know, man. It's bullshit, man. So I got two fucking useless sets of tuners. So I went back into my joke. You know what I'm saying? I got this. It was real cheap pre-pandemic, man. I think it's like $4 delivered. I don't know if we can still get that kind of deal. Here's a whole set, man, and that would do the trick. You know what I mean? They're very, very cheap. You know what I'm saying? They got the middle hole. Then I had these, which are very, very much like Martin style, man. This is like an old Grover style. I actually was going to build a Rickenbacker 325, like a real cheap one from AliExpress. I was going to make it like Lennon's original one. And I got these to make, you know, trick out Grovers. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't ever do it, you know what I mean? I probably never will. And I was like, ooh, since this is a kind of a Martin kind of thing, wouldn't it be nice to use? These are really beautiful tuners, too. They're really cast. They're heavy. You know what I'm saying? But then I was thinking, like, what if this turns out to be a piece of shit guitar? And if it does, I take them off, man, and I put these guys on. Or I don't put anything on. I just put it back in the pile, man. I use it for fuel for a backyard fire. You know what I'm saying? At least it'll look nice. We talk about Charlie Manson playing it and stuff, you know what I mean? Hey, man, what do you guys mean? 1, 2, 3, 6, 1 means, huh? Let's talk about that. What does that mean, everybody? I don't know, Charlie. Just a bunch of numbers. Right. Just a bunch of fucking numbers. Now, Dennis, give me $30,000. Okay, Charlie. Thank you. Peace be with you all. Terry? What's the second verse to Kokomo? Tomorrow, the pig, the Maserati cake. So now we begin our journey to de-ricketizing this old gitter. Now, like I said in the beginning, it sounds like the neck's a little bit loose, and it is, man. See that? That could be good if we're looking to take the neck off. You know what I mean? Not too much work. I don't really think I'm going to take the neck off of this old girl. I think I have to. I mean, is there a forward bow? Yeah, a little bit. But is it really that bad? Not really. It doesn't look like this guitar was really played much, because probably those tuners weren't drilled correctly. It's got some weird here too. What's that? This is when Manson got very mad and he shot a bullet across the room at Dennis. Dennis, pay attention. Anyway, man, let's fill this in with some glue, man. See if that solves our rickety problem. So we don't have to go in there and glue up some ribs. Let's put some of this in there, man. Put a pipe clamp on there. See you in about a day. 1 day's time, son. 1 day at a time. So we've had it clamped for about
a day, about 24 hours, I'd say. Conservatively, maybe 23 hours, maybe 26 hours, who knows? Close though. Now, I can hear, just by touching this, hear that? It means that one of the braces is loose in there. And who knows, it might be loose braces on the front too. So that's what I feared. It's kind of hard to glue these braces up. But without it, it's going to be like a shoddy instrument. It's going to buzz. It's going to be, it's uncomfortable to have. And I'm having very high expectation because of this, the Manson connection on this guy. So let's get the clamp off there, flip it over, and see how we're going to get in there. And I'll see when I've come up with my plan of action, people. So it's now declampified, man. Dreadnaught on the loose, man. I've been studying it hard. I have my hand in there, feeling these braces, see which ones are loose. This is essentially the one that's on the back that runs from here to here is kind of loose. The one that's on the front, on the top, that runs from right here to here. Now this one's not that big of a deal because it's right here. We can, like, you know what I mean, dab a little bit of glue. But the one that's all the way in the back there, man, see it all the way in the back. You can't even see it, man. See if I can investigate. See that one? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It's that one, man. It's that one. So, I mean, I can't even film it and do it at the same time because the hole's just not big enough, man. But I can kind of get my hand in there. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little tiny Ziploc, man. Fill it up with some Tite Bond. Cut a little tiny tip off the corner there. Just hold it in my hand, you know what I mean? And just sort of, you know what I mean? Strategically put it in there. Get this guy that I've cut to a curve, you know what I mean? Sort of accommodate the curve. You know what I mean? And just dab him with water, you know what I mean? And just put him along there to sort of wet it down. And then hold it up like this for a little while. So it seeps in there, maybe even like this for a while, you know, so it really seeps in there. You know what I mean? And maybe put like a heavy piece of, like, you know what I mean, metal or something inside there to hold it down on you. Something like that, friends. That's what I'm thinking about. So I'm going to do it up, man. I'll see after the first one's sort of like setting. Then we'll do the other ones, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no. You're going to fuck it up, BG. I got you, man. No, I'm not. I think we got that back one. Take a good look inside here. Take a good look with you. We'll look at it together. Yeah, he looks good. Looks real good. You looked all greased out like your glue. Really nice and good. No damage to the old label friend there. We still got to do this guy up front. I might even do the back of this guy right here. I think I might have knocked him a little askew, but that's not a big deal. So I'll see you later. Alligator, peace be with you. Mashed potato. So we had it set the other way for about 48 hours. Now we just applied all kinds of glue to this brace right here. You can see the little remnants of glue up there, but it's really on that, right on the edge there, and we sprayed it in there. We want to keep our eye here, so we got a little bit of water on here. We don't want any huge amounts of water dripping down and ruining that label. Doesn't look like we're touching the label yet, so we're gonna let this set. Like I said, I let the other one set about 2 days. This will let set for about a day and a half or so. We didn't put as much glue on this one. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do this brace that's right behind here. It already sounds a lot more solid, right? And that's the name of the game, man. We're trying to make it a solid, man. Do me a solid, man. So I'll see you in about 2 days. 2 days, dude. What? So 2 more days have passed. We unclamped it. It seemed real solid. Though unfortunately, in like the 2 days that have like come and gone, old Bobby G kept stumbling into his workshop, knocking the shit over. But I didn't seem to fuck up any of my work on it. I did knock it over twice though. I was like, oh, the Manson guitar, no! Oh! Charlie would be very, very upset, man. Very upset. So the last brace that really seemed a little tiny bit loose was this last brace that kind of runs along this side. You know what I mean? Like right on this side of the sound hole, there's one that goes. So I just doubled a whole bunch of that in there and I put a little bit of water on there, man. Wet the whistle down, William. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to let him set, just dry for, I guess, a day, 2 days. We'll let him set for a long time. We put a lot of glue on there. This thing's real super solid, this guitar. Now I don't hear any kind of shit going on the backside at all. You know what I'm saying? See you in 2 more days, people. You know what I'm saying? Haste makes waste, man. Don't waste my time, man. Oh no! Peace be with you. So, it's been about 2 or 3 days. Thing sounds real solid now. There's no creaking or shaking or squeaking or moving or anything. Feels like everything's solid in there. I mean, I used half a damn bottle of Tide Bond on this fucking thing. I mean, it just shouldn't be moving around. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel nothing weird going on now, which is great. Which is excellent. Checked out the label, see if it was still. Did you survive, label? You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I was just shut up. Hey, what are you doing, man? I got claustrophobia, man. I can't breathe. Hey, man, it's for your own good. So what am I going to do next, this old bird, man? You know what I'm saying? What would Manson want me to do? Before I put my hand around his beefy Korean neck. Hey, don't do that. That's harassment. Take your hand off my neck. Hey, man, relax. It's also for your own good. Feeling a little bit of a curve, like coming up this way. Like a wave, man. Kind of weird. I don't know if it took on some water. Strange. I don't know if it's in just the wood, not the frets. I don't really know, man. So let's give it a nice little fret job, just in case, man. I don't feel anything too wonky. But you know what I mean? We might as well. You know what I mean? We're going to find out shortly exactly why this guitar was abandoned. I'm pretty sure. There's going to be another gremlin. Who knows, man? Who the F knows, man? Let's do that fret job. I'll see you in just a short spell. All right. So I just want to show you real quick. I'm halfway through the fret job here. I just leveled all the frets. So I want to show you the reverse radius this thing has. Look at these frets here, how all the wear, you know what I mean, of the leveling is all toward the ends. You know what I mean? But the middle's not really too, you know what I'm saying? So it's got like a reverse sort of radius, curved out like convex, you know. Anyway, just wanted to show you that because I thought that was like, you know what I mean, a better illustration than, you know what I mean, before. So let's finish up this fret job. You want to finish it up? All right, we'll finish it up. All right, so the frets are done. Didn't really put any steel wool over it because this is just black paint. We don't want to really mess with it, but we got the frets all level. I don't know how big of a deal that little curve up is going to be now. I think we'll be all right. It's actually kind of comfortable in a weird kind of way, like exotic, you know. So, you know, while we were doing this, we put a little bit of pressure on this brace, and I felt like a tiny, tiny bit of creaking, just a little tiny bit of creaking. So what I did was I just took some crazy glue and I wicked it in there. Now, for those of you guys who don't really have like, oh, I don't have a wick, you can get these little bombs at the Dollar Tree. You know what I mean? 2 for $1.25. You know what I mean? And you can get like 400 of these. I got like 400 of them. You know what I mean? Like 4 packs of 100 for like $2 delivered from AliExpress, man. Isn't that incredible? And you can and it fits right on there, like an incredible thing. You know what I'm saying? You can just wick it in there. So I just wicked it like directly onto the, you know what I'm saying? Like right there into the little groove, man. And I also did a little bit of backup on that one too. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, you know what I mean? Totally solid now. You don't hear anything shaking around. Nothing. Nothing at all. So let's clean it off. You know what I mean? With some furniture polish, man. I'm really into the orange Dollar Tree polish now, man. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it, man. Aren't you glad about it? Yeah, I'm kind of glad about it. So let's clean this fucking thing off, man. It's filthy. You look kind of filthy there, Noriega. Kind of want to seek revenge because what Saddam did to me. Urinating in my mouth like that when I wasn't expecting it. Unconscious. You know, a man's urine actually kind of tastes a little like salty lemonade. But that's between you, me, and my psychiatrist. See you after we're all cleaned up. Come on, Noriega. Come out here, little guy. Time to get a whipping. W. Get his leash. I don't want him hurting me. Okay, Pappy. I got his by the leash. Come on now, Noriega. It's Noriega, son. Noriega? Noriega. We'll work on that later. We'll get your phonics book out. Thank you, Pappy. I love you, Daddy. Love you too, son. Peace be with you. There it is. Looking all sheeny, looking all shiny. A lot better anyway. You know what I'm saying? Both sides now. Both sides now looking much better. Now, there are a lot of places where you got banged against the white molding sometime in the past. Hey, Charlie, man, you're banging up that guitar against all the moldings in my house, man. Don't you dare tell the wizard how to bang his guitar, Dennis. You know what I'm saying, man? All right, man, I'm sorry. Got any more of that blow, man? Anyway, that's what we did to get rid of all that white molding marks. We just took a little magic erase sponge. You know what I mean? Loaded it up with furniture polish and just rubbed them off. You know what I mean? In some of the locations, it left a kind of like a little hazy mark. And we just polished up the, you know what I mean, finished, and we got rid of the hazy mark. Like this one, for instance. It was real deep, but we got it out. Dehazed it. Hey, man, there's a little bit of a haze in here, wizard. What's going on, bruh? So anyway, you know what I noticed too? It's pretty cool. This is like real inlay. It's like real banding. As opposed to bullshit like, you know, water slide decal. It's pretty cool, man. Hey, man, that's why the wizard likes that guitar. So let's put the tuners on, you know what I'm saying? Now it's time to start, like, you know what I mean? Manhandling the handle. Got the tuners all laid out where they belong. Got a little box full of screws, man. Let's do this out, man. Let's do it nice. Let's make the wizard proud, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you guys in a hot flash. Hey, man. Hot flash? What's that all about, man? I got a neck brace on, man. I fell out of my Ferrari, man. So we got those tuners on. They look really, really snazzy, man. They're like knockoff Grover State lights, man. Gorgeous. They're really solid. You know? Had to sort of shave down that guy a little tiny bit. You see? I mean, he's been sort of flattened out a little bit, but on the other side, I didn't have to do it. I only had to drill like 4 holes total. I also sort of took the liberty. Ooh, sorry about that, folks. Of sort of taking this little furniture marker, you know what I mean? And getting in there, man. See, there's lots of, like, you know what I mean? Little scuffs and scoofs, man. Scuffs and scoofs all over the place. All over the place, man. See, that's all kind of messing. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we go ahead and, you know what I mean, go to work on this guy with some furniture markers, you know what I mean? Just go to work on it. I'll see you then. Or darn. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. You know what I mean? Let's see what we can do. Just some furniture markers. That's the power of the furniture marker, folks. 15 minutes of time. A bit of patience, but I'm saying, really. You know what I'm saying? This thing was fucked up. And now it kind of looks alright. You know what I'm saying? Kind of looks alright now. Not bad at all. However, there is a little. Looks like somebody drilled a little hole in here. Let's take this outside and bondo it up. And then we'll be a happy camper. There we go, man. A quick little mix me up here in the backyard. Blustery fall day with beautiful sunshine. Let's do this up, man. Real quick. Quick one while he's away. Oh, that looks good enough. Let's let it sit out here for a couple minutes. Alright, let it cure out. And we'll see you then. There we go, man. It's been about 2-3 hours. Nice and solid. If we look at it this way, we see it's all murky, kind of. You know, we had a little paper towel that we cleaned it up with, but it, you know what I mean. It still has a little bit of a slime trail, man. Hey, man, you can clean it up, man. So now we got some, you know, the old Polish brothers, man. This is Forczynski and Woltolczynski, right? 3,000% kielbasa juice each. We're going to clean this up a little bit, man. We're going to bring back the sheen to the shiny shifts. You know what I'm saying? Sheeny shiny. Smacky hiney. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too tiny. Don't get whiny. You see how it's all shiny now. It's all sheeny now. Still kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? So we got a whole bunch of friends here. These are called acrylic paints. Sometimes Bobby G calls them acrylics. He's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Let's mix up a hue that's correct. You know what I'm saying? Trick it out. I'll see you in a second. So I did a layer dark, and then I did like a layer light over it. Because when like it's wet, it seems a little bit darker. And when it's dry, it's a little lighter. Reason being is I got a little bit of true Earl here. Some gunstock finish. We're just gonna. You like that sound? You like that? We're just gonna take a little bit of a drab of that, and just coat it on up a little bit. I'll see you when we're done. But it's looking better. Doesn't that look grand? Much better. And if you actually look into it, it's got like a little sheen over it now. A little shine over it. You know what I'm saying? If that's like shining a light on it. But I mean, if you're chilling over here, like nobody sees it now. Nobody sees it now. Now we're all right, Noriega. We're in the dark. It's a poor man's game. Come on, Daddy. I'll hold him tight. Don't let go of that leash, W. I'm telling you, my back, I threw it out when I was taking out the garbage. All right, Daddy. Come on there, Noriega. Noriega, son. Listen. Turn off the camera. Come on, Jeff. Turn off the camera. So look. We got all these things I'm missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Now, I've showed you before many times how we take a piece of this old 3M, you know what I mean? Press on, instant. Love this stuff, man. Instant MOP, man. Mother of pearl. I've already used this one up, so I'm going to make a bigger one. We're going to take off the plastic protector. We're going to take some 100,000 steel wool, put it over there. We're going to take this guy. We're going to take some of this, some of this, some of this. We're just going to smear it in there. Darken it all up. And then we're going to get it off there real quick. And it's going to look like this. We're going to take this hole punch and we're going to cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And we're going to put a little tiny bit of crazy glue. We're going to apply them. Just, you know what I mean? Sell the dill. You know what I mean? Hey, man, I'm a little crazy for glue. What can I say? I'll say it. Don't stop me. Don't stop me now. Peace be with you. Darken it up a bit, man. Darken it up a bit, man. Like Darkwing Duck, man. Looks great. It's fantastical. Now this one up here, unfortunately, it's missing over here. But this is like a little bigger than the standard hole punches, if you see. You know what I mean? But it's the same kind of mother of pearl material. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little piece of old white masking tape, put over this hole right there, the masking tape, and just, you know what I mean, so we get the outline of the little circle there. Put it on here. Cut it out with a nice scissor. And glue it in there with a hot glue gun, which we already have plugged in and ready. So I'll see you when that's all filled in. I'll fill you in after that, people. Right? You screwed up, man. I can't believe you'd do something as ridiculous as that. Doesn't that look grand? Looks great. Perfect. That's still curing out a little bit. A little bit of Curaco going on. So what are we going to do, man? Let's clamp this old nut guy on here, man. A little bit of tight bind. Perfect size. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that up. I'll see you in a couple hours. Just a couple hours. Right? Let that cure out completely. Let that dry completely. Then we'll move on to our next step. Right. Alright, so it's the next day. I think we've clamped this enough here, Marvin. Looks like you did a good job. Made your old man proud. Not bad. Alright, so that'll work. So we've got one more dilemma to talk about. We're missing the bridge saddle. Long gone. This is what we call the lollipop, you know what I mean, saddle. It's a big piece of plastic that kind of look like a lollipop stick. Just like this, man. See that? Do you see it? This is an old tempo. And about the same time. So those are usually not very effective and hard to find. So we're not going to cry a million rivers over that. This sort of happens. Old shish kebab skewers made out of bamboo. Right about the same size. Fits in there like a glove. You know what I mean? Like a perfect glove. Those are white. This is kind of tan. So we got our friend Mr. Krylon. This one bonds a lot better. You know what I mean? To bamboo. Bamboo's like a strange kind of wood. We're taking it outside. This bright new day. I'll see you a little bit later when we're all whited out. Make me proud, boys. You see that? You see that? Perfect. So we're just going to cut it off the right size. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll just paint the end with white acrylic paint. I'll see you when that's complete. My good friends. My good friends. Come, see my progress. See me in action. And there it is. Cut down this perfect size. Ends painted off both sides. Perfect popsicle stick, man. Perfect popsicle stick. So, that being done, man, let's put this aside. It's got a little sheen to it. If you look to it, it kind of looks like plastic, man. You know what I mean? Do-do-do-do. Let that cure on out, man. So let's get that mom's cornell wax, man. Let's smear it on this old girl. The canister looks like this. You could find it at auto detailing shop. This is from like 2 or 3 years ago before the pandemic. It's probably made out of recycled plastic. You know what I mean? Made directly from homeless people, man. These were the people that were inside the cages before. What? Not sure what's happening there, man. Cage you talking about, man. Anyway, like I'm saying, smear this guy up with all kind of grass. You know what I'm saying? Smear him up with grass. We'll wipe it off. And we'll see how shiny and shiny we look. After we accomplish that, we're going to do this too. No holds barred. No holds barred. All nudes. All nudes out. No, say nudes are popping. Please be with you, you filthy shoemaker. Oh, glossy, glimmery like. Look at that. I'm gonna lose my little popsicle stick, man. I don't want to lose it, man. Lose it or use it, man. So we're at that point, man. We you know what I mean? Send you off to be a man. You must go into the mountain with the sheep and do something bizarre with him. What? That's not what happens. So I have a set of these coppers here. Actually, open it up, just make sure they're all in there. So sometimes I have a tendency to take little strings out of sets, man. I don't know, man. It's one of my problems in life. I put it back in the drawer like, oh no, man. Must have came with one string missing. Anyway, I have all the strings there. They've been counted out 6. My good people. I'm going to put coppers on it. Now, coppers were, I think, invented. I think I was told by Dario, man. About 40 years ago to make, like, shitty instruments sound good. And then, like, you know what I mean? They started making them overseas and put them on every single, stringed instrument that came out of Korea. You know what I mean? China. I'm saying, like, oh, this instrument sounds great. So we're trying to make it sound as good as we can. Now I'm working on this guy, you know what I mean? I want it to be a winner, you know what I mean? Because of the Manson guitar thing. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be the one. But the more I work on it, I'm like, this is going to be a fucking POS, man. It's going to be a POS. It's going to sound like SHIT. You know what I'm saying? I just got this feeling. So see at the glam shots. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Hoping I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Maybe not. And there it is, man. Not as bad as I dreaded, you know. Action's kind of high past the 9th fret. But below the 9th fret, it's actually alright. It actually feels alright. It's like a cheap guitar. I haven't really played it too much, but put it up to tone, you know what I mean? I want to get this episode done, man. I want you guys to be thankful with me. You know what I'm saying? I want you to feel me. This is the Manson guitar, man. You know what I'm saying? Arwin musical. You know what I'm saying? Made in the late 60s. Same time Manson was at his prime. And a lot of you people are like, what's he keep talking about Manson for? Who's Manson? The girl from Garbage? No, no, no. Charles Manson, people. I mean, the low and the high of Charles Manson was really could be traced down in a group of three people called the Golden Penetrators. Now, the Golden Penetrators were three swinging guys in LA in the 60s. They claimed they could bang any woman they wanted, really. And they were like, you know what I mean, these playboys. The three members of the Golden Penetrators were Dennis Wilson, who was the drummer for the Beach Boys, right? The first Beach Boy to die, drowning on his boat, right? And then Bruce Johnston, who was, you know, a member of the Beach Boys after Brian Wilson lost his mind, 1965. He left the ripcords, you know what I mean, as the musical talent. And he joined up and played Brian Wilson's part on, you know, whatever. You know, he's actually the son, the adopted son, I believe, of like the CEO of Walgreens. So that's how he got out, you know what I'm saying? Heard he came from like, you know what I mean, he was like the child, like a Nazi or something like that, something crazy, you know. He was adopted by the CEO of Walgreens. Ended up in like Beverly Hills High, you know what I mean? With Dylan and you know what I mean? So the guy Brandon. And that's where he met up with the third member of the Golden Penetrators, Terry Melcher, the golden child, only son of Doris Day. You know what I'm saying? Big time Hollywood, Doris Day. You know what I'm saying? So these Golden Penetrators went around all over LA trying to bang as many women as they could. Went overseas trying to bang as many women as they could. Terry Melcher, you know what I mean? He was a record producer, like we said. You know, he produced records primarily for the Byrds, Moms and the Papas. He was like right under Adler. You know what I'm saying? Paul Revere and the Raiders. Blah, blah, blah. You know, that LA scene. Mostly the Byrds, right? But he was constantly, you know, looking for the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? Old Terry Melcher. And then comes a guy by the name of Charles Manson. Wanted to audition. All right, Charlie, what do you got? I got all kinds of pussy and I got all kinds of drugs, right? He was a drug dealer, Charles Manson, really. And he had all kinds of skeeved women following him around, you know what I mean? Because he had all kinds of amphetamines, cocaine and stuff. This was all slob women, you know what I mean? Oh, he had like a following, these pigs. Why don't you fuck this guy? You know what I mean? Go fuck this guy, you know what I mean? I need a new you know, customer or whatever. And they just dug right into Terry Melcher, you know what I mean? Hey, you know, I got fucked 15 girls last night, Dennis. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Bruce, I just fucked 30 more girls. Bruce wasn't into drugs, you know, he didn't care. Dennis Wilson, on the hand, you know what I mean? Oh, really? Amphetamines? Oh. You know, so, you know what I mean? Terry turned Charlie Manson onto Dennis Wilson, and he moved into Dennis Wilson's mansion. Pretty much sucked him dry completely, drained his entire bank account. And then when he was done with Dennis Wilson fled, like moved on to his boat. You know what I mean? Charles Manson tried to move on to Brian Wilson's house. Brian Wilson, 1969, we all know he was a fucking basket case, and he told Dennis, like, don't you ever send this motherfucker here again. He's crazy. He scares me. And this is like mid-1969, you know, so Charlie Manson had nowhere else to go, so he decided to go visit his old friend Terry Melcher, right? But Terry Melcher wasn't living in the same place anymore because he was going to build a big mansion for himself and his mother in Carmel, California, because his stepfather died and he came in with a fortune, right? And that's why we have this Arwin musical instrument right in front of us from that same period of time. He's just blowing money left and right. And he was renting the house to Roman Polanski and his pregnant wife. And we all know the story, man. Manson's people went in there, cut her up. You know what I'm saying? While Polanski's out raping a 12-year-old or something. Who knows what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? That's the story of Charles Manson. You know what I mean? Really. In a nutshell. That's how he relates to the Golden Penetrators, to this guitar. Terry Melcher. Blah, blah, blah. So I got a personal little connection to that. Not to Manson. Not to Manson at all. When I was in college, my girlfriend would always copy everything I did. You know, always taking my good ideas. Since I was like 15, 14, 13, I was like writing like favorite celebrities of mine. Not trying to get autographs, just trying to get a connection. You know what I mean?
I'd leave my telephone number or something. Hey, call me, you know. Sometimes I strike up little, you know, these all these old celebrities came from an age where they're like, you know what I mean? People were into letter writing. People don't write letters anymore. They write like texts, 2-line texts at the most. You know what I mean? I send one of my buddies a text that's more than 3 sentences. He says, "What are you doing, bro? I don't work for you." You know what I mean? People don't want to read like long ass fucking paragraphs and shit anymore, let alone write them. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I was, you know, writing all these old time celebrities, and someone would write me back. You know what I mean? Of course, my ex, you know what I mean? She's, oh, I can do that. Yeah. But she turned into a business. I was writing to just certain people, you know what I mean? That I, you know, wanted, you know, I wanted to know about, you know what I mean? People were my heroes. She was writing to everybody and trying to score as many autographs as she possibly could. You know what I mean? So she would like go to all the old celebrities and write them letters and everything. And then she'd come over to my place and like she'd like open up the envelope in front of me, like in front of my nose and shit. Like, oh, look at this one I got. Look at this one I got. So I remember she came into my room. You know what I mean? She opened up this envelope from Doris Day. You know, I said, you know, why don't you write Doris Day a letter about, you know, animals? She's in the Animal Foundation. And she read the letter or whatever. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, why don't you just send me a form letter? It's a pre-printed form letter. She like just threw it in this big pile. She had a huge like big box of like, you know what I mean, letters back from celebrities that were like, you know, just pre-printed autographs and, you know, form letters, like nothing like signed or personal. You know what I mean? And my ex had boxes of shit everywhere. She pretty much lived her whole life. You know, many years after that relationship was done over with, whatever, my wife, my real wife, she was going through my stuff in the garage, like, what's all this shit? You know what I mean? What's all this? You gotta throw this away. Who's this for? You know, who's this woman's on the address in here? I don't know. And so I went through it, you know what I mean? It was all pre-printed autographs and shit from people from Survivor from 1998, you know what I mean? Ridiculous, you know, unknown, you know, pre-printed photographs of autographed celebrities, whatever, you know. And I opened the Doris Day, you know, Animal Foundation thing. There's a long letter from Doris Day. And I looked at the bottom of it and I was like, that looks like it's really signed with a red ballpoint pen. Right? And then I looked on the internet and I found like a letter in the same exact font that Doris Day definitely wrote to like the Les Brown band members like a couple years after this letter arrived. And it was totally real and it was in the same exact font, same exact, you know what I mean, signature and like a red ballpoint pen. Like you see right there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? I just got an autographed letter from Doris Day. And the funny thing is she actually wrote her like a real personal letter. You know what I mean? You know, addressing all the things that she was talking about. You know what I mean? In the original letter she sent her. Doris Day like spent a long afternoon on her little computer writing this letter. My ex who just threw it in a box. Isn't that funny? She just died recently. Rest in peace, mother of Terry Melcher, the Golden Penetrator. You did a great job. Mother of the Year. Mother of the Year to all the animals. So let's hear this fucking thing. You know, I'm tired of talking about the Manson anymore. Let's hear him. Come on, Charlie. Come on, Charlie. Now's your time. Let's show him, man. Hey, man, I got a steel plate in my neck, man. It's kind of hurting. Hey, man. That's the Wizard's guitar, man. Don't touch it. Hey, Dennis, I just want to play a couple songs. I said, that guitar belongs to the Wizard. Don't touch it. Come on, Dennis, man. I just want to play a couple songs. You sit the fuck down. Don't go near that guitar. Dennis, come on, man. You're going to have control, man. The Wizard. Hey! I'm calling Terry. No, don't call Terry. I'm calling Terry, man. I can't take you, man. I can't take you anywhere, man. Hey, listen to me. This is the Arwin V-20. This is a prototype. I've never seen anything like this before. There are a couple of Arwins out there, but no V-20s. And actually, it's a beautiful instrument. I was talking all kinds of shit, but it's incredible. It sounds. Listen to the sustain. Listen to that. Do you hear that? That's incredible. And with these strings, forget about it.
who's Doris Day? Why do I keep talking about Doris Day? Doris Day was the real reason that Arwin Industries was founded. It really was around Doris Day's talent. Is why, you know what I mean? Marty Melcher, you know what I mean, founded Arwin. It was really to deal with her. You know what I'm saying? So do the Guitkits people out there know Doris Day is? Do you care? I don't really, you know, I mean, know much about her myself, other than the fact that she's kind of like Mother of the Year, you know, with Terry Melcher in Guitkit Land. You know what I mean? But she had one big hit in like 1948 with Les Brown Orchestra, I think it was. And that was her only thing that I didn't really think of out of my pop culture, you know what I mean, treasure chest in my mind. It's the only thing I think of. And this is her big song. It goes like this. Gonna take a sentimental journey. I'm gonna set my mind at ease. Gonna take a sentimental journey to replay old memories. 7, that's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up at heaven. Railroad train, some coming back. That's it, man. Doris Day. That's her big hit. So now you know, man. In case somebody's like singing that song, hey, man. That's the mother of the golden penetrator, man. Manson. Arwin V-20. Peace be with you. Next time, there's a next time. We'll be just as thankful as we were today. Pay forward, people. God bless you. Have a thankful day. Have a thankful moment. A thankful memory. Kiss your loved ones. Peace be with you.